All right, so in these next examples, sometimes you have to rearrange things for the grouping method to work, right? Like for example, here, if I if I look for a common factor, I see that m is a common factor, right? And so then if I factor out an m, I'll have n plus 4 left. Okay, don't write this down just yet. Here, I don't have any common factors, and so I could factor out a 1, but then I wouldn't have something that matches up, right? So notice how this and this don't match up. So if that happens, you need to rearrange. Okay, and sometimes you'll see it ahead of time. So like for me, if I was looking at this, I would say, oh yeah, well looks like these have common factors, right? And it looks like this has a common factor with this. So kind of group things with their common factors. So I'm going to rearrange this to be m squared plus mn plus 4m plus 4n. All right. So now that I've regrouped, now I can see, okay, well here I have a common factor of m, right, between the first two terms. So then I have m plus n. If I divide this and this by m, I get m plus n. So then with the second two terms, I have a common factor of 4. So I'm going to put plus 4 here, and then I'm going to divide this by 4, and I would just get m, and divide this by 4, and I would just get n. Okay, and now we can see that this and this are the same, and so we can factor that out, m plus n, and then our leftovers are m plus 4. All right, so that's a situation where I had to regroup, right, before we could factor out the GCF, or before we could factor by grouping. All right, so it's number 6. So here I can see that the x's go together, right? So I'm going to put those together. So I'm going to put ax plus bx plus, and then I could just put b plus a, but I'm gonna put the a first since the a comes first here and the b comes second. I'll just arrange this in the same order, a plus b. Okay, so now I'm going to group the first two terms together. Ax plus bx, x is a common factor, and so then I would have a plus b left over, right? Once I divide by x. Here the common factor is just a 1. Okay. Usually when there's a 1 as a common factor, we don't put a 1 out front, right? Or we don't even factor anything out. But with the grouping method, we want to have a number right here, right? So I'm just going to keep the 1 visible. So now I see that this is a common factor. And so I have a plus b. And then my leftovers are x plus 1. All right. Okay, so that's what happens when you have to rearrange terms. Okay, so these last couple, you can do them for practice, but I just, in order to keep the video as short and efficient, as possible, I'm gonna move on to a different example.